Hello and welcome to the Film School Chronicle, your wire right to the heart of the student film scene of Brisbane, Australia. I'm your host, Bryce Quinn, and joining me today is Ethan Stuart-Hensley, Madison Hislop-Stoessel, did I get that right?
Yeah.
Nailed it. And Ethan Larkin. You guys are three of my friends, and you all went to Winton and just got back today. And I'm here to interview you about the Winton trip. That's what I'm here to do today on this podcast. Anyways, How are you guys, and how was your trip to Winton? Let's get into it.
So good.
Yeah, great.
It was better without seeing your ugly face.
Oh, wow. Okay, so just a bit of quick background. You guys are actually three of my good friends at uni, and this is your first time on the show. Larkin, we've talked long and hard about when and where you're going to come on the show. So this is a bit of a surprise to everyone. We had a bit of a thing planned, but
I'm reserving episode 69 for just me.
Only Larkin hours.
Only me.
But before we get to that, sometime next year, we are talking about the Winton trip. And you guys said you had a good time, and just a bit of quick background. The Winton trip was a 2-week
boot camp.
Filmmaking boot camp where you went out. So you guys went and did the script writing half of it, and Larkin, you went and did the filmmaking half of it. Let's just get into it. So we'll start with you guys. How was the script writing experience at Winton? In the Outback, by the way. It's an Outback trip.
My brain died.
Really?
You on camera, dead brain.
No, my brain died at Winton. There was so much work to do with script writing.
Yeah.
I
And
think I was alright. Yeah.
But okay, you have to admit it was a lot of work.
It was a lot of work.
So yeah, describe the process. You said it was a lot of work.
Pitch it. Go.
Alright, so basically we got into a writer's room.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
And
gonna pitch your show, but
yeah, that's later.
okay.
We can pitch that after. Pitch the first bit and then pitch the second.
So we're in this writer's room, we had to give our ideas, and one of our ideas got picked, and then we all worked together on that idea around a table, and it was sort of stressful, but I think it was mostly alright.
And then that idea went to where? So you made the script and then you gave it to...
So it's going to be a 6 by 10 minute web series filmed by the third years in September,
I think
maybe?
so.
Hopefully.
I don't really know
it's
the
all
details.
up in the air right now.
And that's third year Griffith Film
Yeah,
students?
so we have to pitch it to third years when next try comes back.
Right.
And then because they're going to film it they're building a Western film set out there,
Mm-hmm.
and then they're going to film the show there.
Right. There you go.
So we had to create 60 minutes of content in a week.
And that was all written content to give to someone to make into film content.
Yeah, so we did...
We had to do a script for episode 1 and 2, a pitch bible, and was there something else? Outlines as well.
And there was something else we missed, but
yeah, we'll get it.
don't worry about that. We missed. Yeah.
So you guys spent most of your time inside in writing rooms with other writers?
Yeah, so...
Yeah, pretty much.
Did you want to list the other... Yeah, we'll list the other writers.
Anyone that you can remember, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Well, we can remember everyone. So there was us two, obviously. There was Niana, Chloe Jones, Gail from Masters. Am I missing anyone else? Phoenix and Fraser. Fraser a first year.
Oh, well,
which
there you
would have been so daunting for him. But
Lad.
And then we also had Keisha and Simon.
Yeah, Keisha and Simon. So Simon was heading the writer's room.
Yeah.
And Keisha was...
Simon, the tutor at film
Yes,
school.
yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Keisha was helping out.
Yeah, it's like a mentor sort of thing.
Right, sounds fun. So lots of time just writing, bouncing ideas back and forth.
Yeah, it was
Cool.
so good.
Yeah.
And how much interaction did you have with the filmmaking students?
None. Never saw them.
Never saw them.
At
Right.
all. They were locked in their room.
Right.
We weren't allowed out.
No, they
Help.
barely fed us. It was...
You guys were in the room where there was food. You were in the dining hall.
So yeah, the filmmaking students spent a lot of time, from what I could tell on Instagram and everything, outside.
Yes.
And so what was that experience like?
Well, I did the easiest film, which was a comedy called Danny Down Under.
Right.
And it was a mockumentary, so it required zero planning on the shot list. Most of the stuff was improv, and we just ran around the town filming one person doing dumb shit, and it was great.
Right.
Good job,
It
Bailey.
turned out well.
And they got the mayor in.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
yeah,
mayor
that
was
was so
the second,
funny.
the second actor.
That's fantastic.
And at the end of the film, there's a joke where it's like, he still hasn't realised I'm the mayor yet. It's like deadpan to the camera. It was great.
Sweet. And you were DOP on that?
I was
so.
DOP. I'm like,
Went to Winton to be gaffer, ends up DOP.
there were no gaffers.
Yeah.
Gaffer didn't exist.
Well, that explains why you weren't a gaffer.
That was skeleton crews.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was like 6 people crews.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a DOP, a director, a sound person, a first AD, casting person, and editor but we replaced our editor with a BTS person, and then our director edited. So good job, Kath.
Very very skeleton crews.
Very skeleton crew.
Yeah.
We snagged a couple of business people at some stages to be boom ops and just come in.
That's
He
great.
snagged Phoenix as a beam up. And
Yeah,
boom
Phoenix
up
was
and-
there. He was in the film as well because we decided, you know what, boom can be in shot, and so can the boom operator.
Boom was always in shot.
yeah
He's
consistent.
the main star.
That's
Yeah,
fantastic.
it was great.
And you mentioned so there's business students as well, so not just Griffith Film
Oh,
students.
so those.
Okay, we have filmmakers,
Yep.
screenwriters,
Mhm.
master's students, animation students, business students,
Yep.
Composing.
composing
composers.
students
Oh wow.
who
And
were doing
actors.
filmmaking,
Mhm.
and actors who were doing filmmaking,
was
who
a-
also acted in some of the films.
There's a
Because
big melting
the
pot.
the Winton trip counts as sort of like an elective that people can take,
Yes.
and that's a part of a bunch of different courses.
As well as UNSW students
Yep.
from New South Wales.
So it was like a huge melting pot. It was
Yeah.
it was really good for like
Connections.
connections, networking, like
Yeah.
knowing, like speaking to actors and business students, then like UNSW students and like everyone. It was like huge. I don't know. I just learned a lot just from talking.
Well, this is a perfect time to jump into a recurring segment for this episode where I have got questions from people who went to Winton.
Oh.
This one's from Michael Olive. What was it like working with non-filmmakers in your group? So did you have any non-filmmakers in the groups you were in?
Yes.
In the screenwriting course specifically. So I know you did.
No, everyone in screenwriting did film. I guess the only
Yeah.
outlier with us would be Fraser the first year,
Yeah, he
Because
had
he-
done screenwriting before.
but
But-
he hadn't done a subject in screenwriting before. He hadn't done any screenwriting before.
Yeah.
Only like stuff in his own time.
Yeah.
And he was delving into television screenwriting, which is fucking sorry, excuse my language, which is hard.
I feel bad talking too much about Fraser because I know our first years are a big demographic for this podcast.
Oh yeah,
so I
no,
don't
he
wanna
did amazing.
Call him out. He did
No,
amazing.
He did amazing.
Yeah, so good.
Yeah, he's definitely came a long way. And if anyone in first year needs shit written, stuff written, go to Fraser.
Yep. Awesome. Great pitch.
He's so good.
Larkin.
And he fit in amongst like all the
Oh, yeah.
second years
Oh,
and
that's
stuff.
good.
So yeah, it wasn't like, oh, first year.
I mean, that was a recurring joke. But
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but, yeah.
Bitch boy first year.
Yeah, you tell we're all friends here. So Larkin, how was it working with non-filmmakers or people who aren't in the film school?
Yeah, good. Actors were extremely competent, which yeah, good on them.
You would hope so.
And like the composing students were great at what they did,
Yeah.
which was composing.
Surprise, surprise.
And most of them did sound, I think, on their like short films that they were on.
Yep.
So like, for example, Cole, that little legend.
Amen.
Pop off, Cole. He did some certified bangers, as well as Will Smith from the hit film I, Robot. No, there was a dude on a trip called William Smith, and I made that joke so many times.
I can imagine.
Only I, Robot though, not any other Will Smith film.
Okay, we've gone wildly off track here. What were we talking about?
Everyone was good at what they wanted to do.
All right, to jump back in. Oh yeah, no.
Except for
Apologies for the quick interruption there. Larkin said something he wasn't supposed to. So now we're going to jump back into a question about what was the process of getting your film to make, Larkin? You said it was Danny Down Under.
yes. So basically, we had to get a bunch of paperwork done.
Okay.
Very quickly, like a day and a half.
Mhm.
Good God. Good God.
Stressful day and a half.
Well, yeah, but like I was like, oh yeah, it's just paperwork. It doesn't have to be that great. But like Raz, who was our first AD, she was like trying to get it all done, and she's like, I've never done this before. How am I supposed to get this done?
Yeah.
And like because mentors didn't tell us anything about like how to do all the paperwork. They just assumed we all knew, which was a bit shoddy, but you know, it's a boot camp. You're meant to cry. That's what they said.
They said this was designed to break us.
Wow, that's intense.
It did.
And it did break some people consistently on multiple occasions. But we just grinded out the paperwork. We went to a meeting where we were like, are we greenlit? We was not greenlit. So we continued doing the paperwork, came back the next day. They were like, you did it. You've done it good. And then we were like, yay, we can shoot now. And
Just quickly, this is paperwork, all things like risk assessments.
risk assessment, location agreements, casting agreements,
Right.
shot list, script,
So you threw together the script in a day and a half, and that wasn't the script writing students?
That wasn't the script writing students.
So what about pitches? Did you do a pitch meeting or anything?
We did do a pitch meeting, which you guys were there for as well.
Yep.
So the screenwriters also did a pitch
Okay.
for which pitch was going to be chosen by you guys. And every student who was doing the filmmaking thing, including the business students who did it as a little group, they all pitched like a 1 minute pitch for an idea that they had. And then we all voted our first preference and our second preference. And then the top 6 were chosen. We had to do one revote because there was a tie between 4 people. There was a 4-way tie for 5th and 6th place. So that was interesting. And 6 films were chosen.
But
and
the screenwriters, their pitch was separate from everyone else's, so we pitched to the whole thing, but we only voted amongst ourselves.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go. And so you took that idea, pitched through all this day and a half of intense paperwork and getting it all back, and greenlit, and then you moved into how long was production for?
3 days. We shot on the 2nd and 3rd day because we were still finishing off a little bit of paperwork and stuff, and couldn't be bothered actually to shoot on the Sunday. But then we went out on Monday, we shot around the town, got most of our shooting done, and then on the 2nd day we did all of our we did our second scene, which was in a different location, as well as doing a couple of little things around the town.
Right.
So, and it went very well.
And then you handed all the footage to your editor, they edited it together, and on what day was the Vision Splendid Festival?
The festival was on this, the showing of our films was on Saturday.
Right.
And the editing had to be done by Friday, 5 p.m.
Right.
And not a lot of people submitted it at Friday, 5 p.m.
I can imagine that is a really tight turnaround for editing and everything.
Oh yeah, it was ridiculous. Like people grinding it out, and one of the other groups had a bit of trouble with getting their idea up, and they had to shoot a little bit later, so they got the additional day of shooting, which meant that they had even less time for editing.
Yeah.
And they did like a full all-nighter, and good on them, they got it done. And it was good. It was a good film. But fuck, mind my language.
You guys have been great for language today.
It would have been stressful as hell.
Yeah, I can't imagine. And so all 3 of you went to the Vision Splendid Festival. I don't know much about it except the name.
It was running the whole week.
Yep.
So you could go and watch movies and stuff, and we had the volunteer and stuff.
What's wrong, Sandro?
I think you're out of frame.
I'm out. Oh, thank you. Sorry. It's a casual episode today. It's all good. I was out of frame. Sorry, everyone. Sorry, Vision Splendid Festival, you're answering the question.
Yeah, so there was a bunch of films. I went to probably 4 of them. Juanita.
Can we call...
This is, so there was a film called I Am Juanita.
Yep.
And you would not guess the star. It was Juanita, famous honky-tonk singer. And she could honky tonk, I guess, is a way of saying it.
Are we allowed to talk about Juanita?
I don't. Well, it was one of the films that showed.
That's true.
She came to the festival as well, and she was there.
She's quite a character.
She was
Quite
there.
a character.
Yes.
She certainly was there.
Yes.
I just don't want to offend anyone on the show. That's what I'm worried about.
Yeah.
And I don't know what's happening right now, so are we going to offend anyone? Or?
Maybe.
We can move on.
Yeah.
The topic of Juanita.
Okay.
So everyone who went to Winton will know.
Yeah. Just leave it at that.
Sounds good.
There was another doco. It was about Aboriginal actor Gulpalul, if I'm
good.
pronouncing it correctly, which was very good doco. And
Did I?
the first night.
Oh yeah.
It was 4 hours. It was good. And he got the Hall of Fame award. So his name was put on a little star, put on the main street with the other years of winners for that. So good film.
And so you screenwriters. Sorry, I just keep thinking about the screenwriting process. You went from your week of writing in the writer's room and everything, and then went to a festival. How was that for you guys?
Well, the festival was running the whole time.
Yeah, it was
so
sort of in
we
between.
didn't watch a lot of movies.
Right.
Because we were up late a lot of nights working. Drinking and working.
Sounds fun.
Yeah, it was because everyone was when they finished production, people were like, oh, it's over, they can do stuff, but our one just kept going and going and going and going, and it was very
a lot of intense work for the entire time, as opposed to like brief stints of hyper intense
well, I'm pretty
work.
sure the directors were in the same boats of us, was of continuously just doing work till the end, which is what the whole screenwriters were doing.
Yeah.
And it was, we got so many extensions. We had the 2 scripts due and the outlines due one day, and we just kept...
We lost a light. So casual today. Continue.
No, we had all that stuff due at, I think it was originally, how long?
It was originally due like at 7 p.m.
6, and then it got extended to 8.
8. And then I told them, so Simon called up and said it was due at 12, but I told everyone it was due at 9. So everyone was stressing the fuck out and panicking, and we got it done. Sorry, stressing out and panicking, and we got it done.
Excuse her language.
But yeah, it was good pressure.
Yeah,
I like
and
the pressure.
it was, you got to an insane point with writing. So you write the script up, and so you wrote the first draft with Niana, Gail wrote the first draft of the second episode, and that gets passed around. And then so we're at the stage when we're doing the scripts. And we're stewing over every single word, being like, does this mean what we want it to mean? We had an argument about tilt, like the word tilt.
Yeah, when you think of tilt, like tilts your head, what do you think they do?
Okay, Larkin, wait.
Right?
Okay.
Sandro?
Sandro, what do you think? When you say someone tilts your head?
It's like...
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
I thought, when it was written the character tilts their head, I was thinking like up or down, because that's technically still tilt.
I can see that.
No.
I can see, but I'd say raise your head. Anyway, this is...
These are conversations we were having.
I think it was the other light.
Those were the sort of conversations we were having.
For sure.
At I think it was like at 11 o'clock at night. We're like, it's due in an hour. Is this the right word?
Yeah. Losing our brains.
Yes.
Losing our minds.
Great. All right, well, I have one last guest question. I kind of left it a bit late for this, to be honest. But Leo Green, who we all know and are friends with, asks, seriously ask them if they ever cried. Crying at Winton is important.
No.
No 3 of you cried. Because you talked about crying.
Did we?
I saw other people
You
cry.
saw other people
Yeah.
crying.
Other people
A lot
told
of-
me they cried.
Yeah.
But I did not cry.
I definitely got really grumpy for like 2 days.
I got quiet, like emotionally drained.
Yeah.
Like one of my video diaries was just like, not feeling too good, while like walking in darkness,
Yeah.
and it was like just a lot of long pauses, which is basically crying. It's crying on
for
the
Larkin,
inside. Yeah. So emotionally drained, but I didn't get to
yeah.
the point of tears.
No, I definitely got to a similar point, and where you're just like, I just need a, like, there was one point where I was like, I went for a walk, like just at like 10:30 at night. I was just walking, and the stars were beautiful. It's a great distraction.
Yeah.
You're just walking around, just staring up at like 10:30 at night, and yeah, you get to a point because you're constantly like, living and working with everyone.
Yeah.
You need a point of like
Walking away.
just walking away and taking time to yourself.
And you said, the tutor said it was designed to break
It's
you.
designed to do that.
Who does that? Who plans like, yes, time to make some young adults cry?
Ash does that. he told Australia, he's like, this is what it's going to do to you.
I mean, it sounds like a very incredible experience to have and to go on. So I'm, in a way envious of you guys. It sounds really incredible. And getting to go out to such a beautiful place. How far away was the trip?
Very.
Big far.
So either 22 or 28 hours, depending on whether you're on a bus or a train.
Which would you guys recommend from your
Bus
travel
is
distance?
quicker.
Bus is
Bus is
quicker.
quicker, and you can put your legs, since the armrest can rise up, you can actually lie down on your thing.
But on the train,
You can drink.
yeah.
Like alcohol.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and there's like a communal cart where you can like go and chill out. And that's good. But the train there was really bad.
Right.
Because there'd been a train accident towards Longreach Way. So we had to go up to Rockhampton and stop there overnight. Then get a bus to Longreach. Then from Longreach get a bus to Winton.
Whoa.
So that was the train ride there. And I think your train ride back was a little more smoother.
We still stopped at Rockhampton for some reason.
What? Overnight?
Not like for a couple of hours. We were just there, and I'm like, what's going on? Why can't we get off at Rockhampton and walk around? Like, I wanted food. Like, when we got off at a previous stop, I ran to Domino's. I went into Domino's. I was like, how fast can you make a garlic bread? And they're like, we can do it in 5 minutes. And I'm like, sweet. I think I have 9 minutes. I look outside. Everyone's waving at me. They're like, come back. And I'm like, it's been 2 minutes. Surely the train won't leave yet. I come out, they're like, I run across the road. They're like, oh, you've still got 2 minutes. I'm like, why did you call me over? I run back to Domino's. I'm like, never mind, I'm still good. How soon can you take it out of the oven? And they're like, not yet. I see more people motioning at me. They're like, come. And I'm like, oh, don't worry, I'll be there soon. I talk to the dude. They're like, we can get it out now. I grab the garlic bread from their hands. I run out. A truck is coming. I run out in front of a truck. The truck nearly hits me. I keep on running. I look right instead of left when crossing the second part of the road. There's a car. It nearly hits me. I run across. Julian's there, wide-eyed, and he says, you nearly got hit by a car and a truck. I'm like, I don't care, because I have garlic bread.
And that is the Film School Chronicle. Thank you everyone for listening. This has been an incredibly weird episode of the show. And until next time, thanks for watching.